John Maxwell said that we are not here to compete with others, but to complete or complement others. We need people in our lives that can show us a solution to the problem that we can't see. They can be our cheerleaders, our greatest motivational speakers, and someone that can just tell us the plain truth. Hi, I'm Grace Plata, and I'm here to equip, empower, and encourage you to help you live your best life. So this week, I wanted to talk to you guys about the 7 people that we need in our lives, and traits and friends that we need in our lives, and people that we don't need in our lives. So last week we talked about people that we have in our lives and like how to honor those people and how every single person that we come in contact with, how they matter. And this week I wanted to talk about how the people we need in our lives. So take notes here because this is going to get real. Okay, so the number 1 person we need in our lives is an encourager. We need someone in our lives to lift us up, to give us that pep talk, to cheer us on, to give us that support we really need. We are feeling so under pressure, so overwhelmed, so discouraged. We need an encourager. And if you don't have an encourager in your life, you need to get one. It could be a family member. It could be a best friend. It could be a sibling. It could be a teacher. It could be a coach. It could be anyone, as long as they have some place of authority in your life, some place where you can respect and honor them, so that you will take their advice, you will take their encouragement. And also, if you want to be an encourager, you don't have to be present 24/7 in someone's life to do that. Someone doesn't even have to be present in your life 24/7 to be your encourager, but you need an encourager. They will encourage your dreams. They will be your motivational speaker. They will remove feelings of doubt and fear. All right, the next person that we need in our lives is a person we can 100% depend on and trust. These are the people that if we're driving home from a long road trip and we happen to get a flat tire at 3 a.m., they will be there for us. They are people who are ready to be there for you. They are people who never go back on their promises. They keep their word. If they say they're going to be there at such and such time, they are going to be there at such and such time. They will be there for you. You can 100% depend on their accountability. You can 100% depend on their support, and you can 100% trust them, especially or even with your life. And by the way, if you're single, this should be at the very top of your list for what you want your future spouse to be like. You want them to be honest, dependable, and trustworthy. And then the next person you need, if you can find all these 3 traits in one person, you, my friend, are #blessed. But the 3 things that you need to find in people are a truth teller. You need that kind of person in your life. You need a good listener, someone who will listen to you, and somebody who will keep your secrets. That's also a form of trust. But 3 in 1. Yeah, these traits have a lot in common, but if you can find all of these traits together, my gosh, do not let those people go. You have to understand what I mean by that. So a truth teller will tell you the things that you and I don't necessarily want to hear, but oh boy, do we need to hear it. The truth teller will call us out on things that maybe that will save us a lot of trouble if we happen to be drifting from a goal of ours. They're not afraid of seeming like rude or mean because they have our best interest in mind. They know that they are doing us a favor. My mom and my sister are my accountability partners. They are my truth tellers. And if they see that I'm getting a little too moody or I have some wrong thinking that I need to confront, they will call me out on it. And I can't get offended with them because they are my truth tellers. We can't get offended with our truth tellers. And a truth teller has to be somebody that truly cares about you and that you truly care about, that you and your truth teller care about each other's well-being. So, and then along with that truth teller, you need a good listener and a secret keeper, because listening, it is an awesome gift that not a huge portion of the population has. Like, good listeners are amazing. We have to honor their gift. They are the kind of people that will pull up a chair for us and will sit down and listen to us. And of course they'll talk too, but they will be there for us when we just need to talk about something that's going on. They are a treasure. And anybody we tell what's going on in our lives, they will usually see a different view, a different angle from how we're seeing it, especially if it's something that is emotionally overwhelming us. And they can see a solution that we can't see. All these traits go hand in hand. A truth teller, a good listener, and someone who will keep your secrets. But they all have this next thing in common. I like this analogy that if like we're in the dirt digging a ditch, that we won't know if that we've gone like crooked or, sideways or far away from where we want to go. But if somebody's watching us, they'll shout like, hey, you're going a little to the left. They will call us out on things, and they will see things in a more awesome, but in a more different way than us. Hopefully more awesome. I hope it's a more positive approach. But anyway, does that make sense? Okay. And then the next person you need in your life is a mentor. See, I've learned so much from mentors of mine that I've listened to on podcasts, that I found on social media, that I've watched videos and all sorts of stuff like that. But I've only met about like one or two of them in real life. But for the best results for your success and in your life, find a coach, find a mentor who can help you one-on-one and give you that personal assistance that you need. Because by all means, you can listen to podcasts and videos and go on social media to find stuff like that. But there is such power in having someone do personal one-on-one training with you. I mean, have you ever had like a teacher who you asked like a specific question, they could answer it for you, and that really helped you? Has that ever happened before? Well, imagine having like that kind of person, but for your finances, or for your family, or for your health, for your success. Imagine if you could have somebody with like a huge level of expertise in your life, giving you the personal training that you need. And if you are ever presented with that opportunity to have a personal coach or mentor, you have to take that opportunity and do not limit their ability to help you. I was listening to this podcast actually just today where this girl, she was watching a show on the Food Network with like her friend or something, and so she was given the opportunity. She was a pretty good baker, I think pastry chef. I don't remember the details, but I do remember the big picture which was that she was given the opportunity to have a professional person with her area, like her area of work, her area of her occupation, to come alongside and help her win this competition. And so he comes up to her, and she was given 10 minutes to have him do something to help her. So my sister, she watched this before me. She's like, what do you think what do you think this girl on the Food Network is going to say? And I'm like, I gave what I was going to say. And then my sister played the podcast back, and the lady said that that when the professional came up to the person in the contest, they came up, she's like, okay, what do you want my help with? And she's like, the person, like the professional, is like, okay, just like give me the most awesome recipe you have to help me win this competition. But the thing that surprised me the most was that that's not what happened. In fact, the professional when she came up to the person in the competition, she's like, okay, what would you like my help with? You have 10 minutes of my time. What would you like me to do? And the person in the competition, she says, cut up the fruit. And pretty much she goes like, what? And the other judges go like, what? And this is the way the lady said it. She's like, I'm pretty sure everyone else on TV is like, what are you doing? And I'm thinking like, what is she doing something brilliant? And then it just like, no, that's not what happened. Like what happened is just cut up the fruit, and that's it. That's what happened. She was limiting the professional's advice to help her win the competition. And I don't remember if she won or lost, but you got to see the struggle here that I'm feeling, that pretty much the whole audience was feeling. If you're given the opportunity to have a coach or a mentor, personally come beside you and give you that expertise and that knowledge that you need. Do not limit them. Do not get offended at their words. Do not put them in a box, okay? They will challenge you to think bigger, to grow stronger, and to do better. Get a mentor. So if you feel like you don't have any of these traits, or you don't have any of these people in your life, but you really want to, try this. Pray for them. Pray. Don't just pray for anybody to come into your life. Do you want, you have to be specific about it. Do you want an encouraging friend? Do you want an honest friend? Do you want a truth teller? Do you want a mentor? And if you want a mentor, what kind of mentor do you want? Do you want a professional who will come alongside you for a certain area in your life? And what's the area? Is it your health? Is it your finances? Is it your just like speaking ability? Is it like a mentor? It could even be a coach. Like, do you want a coach in your life for like a certain area? Okay, so whatever you're believing for, Mark 11:24 says to believe you have received it. When you pray, and it'll be yours. Like, when you're praying, believe you have received it, and it is yours. And that doesn't mean that you'll believe that you have it once you see that person coming up to you like, hey, I'm going to be your new mentor. No. Hey, I'm going to be your new professional. No, that's not what's going to happen. You're going to believe that you have those people in your life, that you have those new traits, those new people, that new mentor coming into your life when you pray. And can you believe for someone to come into your life? I mean, we meet people all the time. Can you believe for someone to come into your life? It's not the hardest thing to do. It's not as hard to tell a mountain to go and move into the sea. Now, we're telling people to come to us, or we go to the people, but you get my idea. It's not the hardest thing in the world, but it will take faith. And now the next one, I wanted to put that beforehand to kind of connect those 2 points of the people we have in the mentor. But now this is going to get fun. The next person you should have in your life, or start thinking about that you want in your life, is a mentee. Mentor, mentee. Mentor, someone help you. Mentee, someone that you help. No matter what age you are, you can have a mentee. If you're more wise, I'll put it that way. If you're more wise, maybe speaking some of that wisdom into someone, younger than you or with less experience than you, that could really impact them. If you're like me, you can help your younger siblings, or you can spread your knowledge online. I don't know, whatever you want, or you can try this. I've been doing this lately, and it's been interesting. I've done it before, but I picked it back up this week because pretend that a young kid is following you around for 1 week, taking mental notes of what you do, your activities, and your daily routine. And they're going to learn how to be successful off of that. And so I've been trying to do that. I'm going to be real. I have a lot of room for improvement. I've caught myself. I'm like, if someone was looking over my shoulder right now, let's get out of YouTube right now. But anyway, so you'll be so surprised how much different and how much more awesome your day is going to be and your week is going to be when you pretend you have someone behind you looking over your shoulder. And honestly, you learn this is how it's going to help you. This is how it's going to benefit you. Us humans, we learn the best by teaching others. When you show others, how it's done, you are actually kind of teaching yourself how it's done. I was helping my sister with spelling today, and I was reading the lesson. I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally understand why this word is spelled that way, and why this rule applies here, and why we have rule breakers, and all that stuff. And I'm like, I totally get this now. And I'm explaining this to her. I'm like, do you get it, Lou? And she's like, yeah, I get it. And I'm like, I totally get it. So, and that's also how I've learned history really well. If I'm given an assignment to write a report, I'm like, okay, so I'll write my outline. I'm like, okay, and then I become almost like an expert in that area about that event or that person. So I can put what I'm thinking onto paper, and that's how I've learned. That's how I know about the Peloponnesian War and all that good stuff. Or in science, I love doing science lately because it's experiments, and it's my sister will come down. She's like, hey, what you doing, Grace? And I'm like, this, and I'll do it. Because I hope I'm not going on a rabbit trail. But anyway, you learn best by teaching. So find someone to teach, and it can it can be your younger sibling. That's how I've learned so much. It could be your kids if you have kids. It could be a young neighbor. It could be someone, if you have a job, it could be someone less experienced than you. I mean, my dad, he's been helping somebody at work who's a pastry chef, but he's been coaching her. And I love my dad for this. And just like certain areas, like this is how you do a crepe. And it's so funny listening to his stories of like what he taught her and like her reactions. But anyway, sorry. You learn best by teaching. But there are certain people that you don't need to invite into your life just because you feel sorry for them or like whatever. You don't need people who are going to use you. You don't need selfish people. You don't need a Debbie Downer in your life. You need an encourager, not a criticizer. You don't need a gossiper. You need a secret keeper. You don't need a gossiper. You need a truth teller, not a liar. And you need someone who is going to breathe life into you and not suck it out by being a drama queen or king, like either way. But you don't need those people in your life. You don't have to invite that negative energy into your life. Of course, you can go and love on those people and give them tips, but don't make them a part of your full-time life and your full-time job almost. You don't have to like kind of graft them. Of course, love them. I'm not saying just ignore them. I'm saying keep that energy away from you because it's contagious. So don't just look for people who are going to go back to the mentee. Going back to the mentee, don't just look for people who are going to help you out, but you can help them too. And so you can be the person to be the change. If you've never heard my story, I was just another depressed teenager. See, I was being tormented by a fear that just would not leave me alone day or night. It just felt like all the feeling of fear just like dragged on me and crippled me to the fact where I couldn't focus on anything. I couldn't, like, all the purpose in life was just like pretty much just being squeezed out of me like I was like a lemon. Like it was just, and that turned into a very deep depression. If you've never heard my story, that's like what happened. But the longer it stayed in me, the worse I felt. And the lie that kept me most in bondage was I felt like I couldn't tell anybody about it. I felt like since I had like this cushy life, homeschooling and traveling, I felt like people, if I would tell somebody if I was feeling depressed, like they would roll their eyes at me, call me a liar, and begin to tell me all the reasons that like why I shouldn't feel depressed. And that's honestly what I thought. But it was a big, fat lie. And I realized that now, that I know that now if I'm hurting, I have people in my life where I can go and be encouraged. I can go and have people like build me up and not feel criticized or condemned or feel like those people would call me out and being a liar. No, I realize now that if I'm hurting, I have other people who will help me out. So if you are hurting right now, I need you to find somebody to talk to. I need you to find somebody to just let those feelings out of you. You don't have to, it doesn't have to become a huge pressure thing. Find someone that you trust. It could be your best friend. It could be your parent. It could be your sibling. It could be anybody. It could be a teacher. It could be a youth pastor. It could be anybody. But if you feel like I'll put it in anyway. If you feel like you can't trust your best friend with this, maybe find a different friend. That's all I'm saying. But that's not meant to be criticizing. It's just truth, I guess. Truth teller. But you tell somebody how you're feeling. Do not keep those feelings bottled up inside of you. That was the worst possible thing I ever could have done. Just find somebody, okay? And if you are on the other side of the fence, if you know someone who's hurting, go up and encourage them. And you can give them an honest compliment. No one wants flattery. Give them an honest compliment. Listen, but don't spill their secrets. Keep them inside of you and encourage them. And you could be the one person to say one nice thing about them that they've heard all day or all week. I heard this surprising statistic of like how long people can go without hearing one nice thing said to them. But there are countless stories of how how one person can change the course of someone's life. All it took was one person who encouraged you. All it took was one person who showed you around that new school. All it took was one person who gave you a chance. All it took was one person who invited you to that event. It took one person to show you the way and change your life. But it didn't just stop with you. No, you went on to change and help your family. You went on to change and help your friends. It's like it's an endless chain reaction. It's an endless ripple that just keeps affecting more and more and more water that you just keep impacting, because the truth is, when we encourage somebody, it is bigger than us. You don't know what kind of impact you can have on somebody's life. I heard this one story of a high school student, and he sees this girl across the room, and he just has this conviction to go up and talk to her. But all these feelings start coming into him. He's thinking like, I don't want people to think this, I don't want her to think that, I don't want her to think, like I'm flirting with her. But that conviction feeling just got stronger and stronger, and he just went up, he introduced himself, and he just started talking. All of a sudden, the girl just starts crying, and she looks back up at him and says, I told God that if he didn't want me to kill myself today, just to have one person be nice to me. You don't know what kind of impact you can have on somebody's life to change the course of their life and people around them. You don't know what one kind word said to somebody sitting across the room can do. All it takes is one person. You don't have to title yourself, the encourager. You don't have to title yourself the truth teller. You don't have to title yourself anything. You will know in the moment when it comes what to do. It might feel a little overwhelming, like, oh, I have to take on all these rules. I have to be this so I can save somebody's life. No, you will know in the moment what to do. Just take it moment by moment. It will be so much easier that way, and you will produce a lot more impact. All right. So I have the weekly challenge. Remember that information and application is what leads to you being successful. So pay attention to the people that are in your life. Pay attention to the people that you are surrounding you with, and take care of the people you have in your life. And go encourage somebody. Encourage somebody. Encourage somebody. Encourage somebody this week. All right. You need that encourager. You need someone you can depend on 100%. You need that truth teller. You need the secret keeper. You need the good listener. You need a mentor and a mentee. And you need to go and I like the mentee. I like the mentee. It might sound kind of silly, but the fact is, whatever we do in somebody else's life, it's bigger than us. All right? So thank you. I hope you got value out of this. I hope it encouraged you. I hope it encouraged you a lot. Please share this with anybody and everybody, I guess. I will see you next week. Thank you.